Education Service is calling on parents to be on high alert as it announces the placement of students in various schools across the country. The GES says they have nothing to do with such persons who will demand or pay monies to facilitate placement into the schools and wants parents to report such persons to the police. Addressing a news conference a while ago, Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Dr. Eric Nkansa, indicated that they have strengthened their internal controls, beefing them with third-party institutions that will monitor their systems to ensure there is no abuse.
Caution parents and guardians to be on the alert for unscrupulous individuals who may approach them to pay any amount of money for the placement of the awards. Such persons are to be reported immediately to the police and to the GES, or possibly to the TVET service for us to pick it up. We are also advising heads of all schools to stick to their approved prospectus. On the other hand, we also urge parents to cooperate with the school authorities during and after the admission process. Quite a number of things have been done, but we can't make all of them public. And most of the things that we have done had to do with strengthening our internal controls. And so some of it had to do with even touching the system itself, checking the infrastructure that delivers this whole process. And we have indeed gotten other people, third-party agencies, to even double-check the integrity of the system and have improved the process flow, almost everything that had to be done internally to ensure that the controls are robust have been done. So we are hoping, and that is why this particular press briefing is equally important, because that is also part of the sensitization process. On this note, may I take the opportunity to announce that the 2023 Computerized School Selection and Placement System, CSSPS, for senior high schools and TVET schools site will be going live any moment from this minute.
Well, the GES Director General has also been giving some statistics about the placement.
As has always been the norm, the service took delivery of the results data and began preparing for the placement. Out of the 547,329 registered candidates, 538,399 candidates qualified to be placed. So far, a total of 372,780, representing 69.24% of the qualified students, have been automatically placed in at least one of their choices. However, 165,601 candidates, representing 30.76%, could not be matched with any of their choices. All such students are therefore to do self-placement to select from the available schools. Per the calendar for 2023, the academic calendar for 2023, the first year students are to report to school on February 20, 2023. So from next week, February 20, students can report to schools for registration and possible orientation for academic work to commence on February 27.
Okay, let's bring in Yao Pokumensa, his deputy spokesperson at the Ministry of Education. And thank you, sir, for joining us here in studio. Over 300,000 students likely to be placed. Are we sure that we'll even get placement for all of them?
Yeah, definitely. The 300, these are not likely to be placed. These are people who have received the automatic placement. So the other number, which is the 160,000 plus, will do a self-placement. So that is how the trend goes. looking at or judging from the aggregate and the raw score, as well as the choice of school and program and accommodation status, which influence the automatic placement. So the over 300,000 do have the automatic placement, one of the 6 schools that they chose. That is where they've been placed as we speak.
So 165,000 plus for self-placement, is that what's happening?
Yeah, so those individuals will have the opportunity. You know what, within the secondary education space, the Ghana Education Service or the Ministry of Education can't choose a school for you. So it's up to you for you to make your own choice. So therefore, even those who could not get any of their 6 choices, then will have the opportunity to select their own school. When you go onto the portal, the available schools, plus your desired program and the accommodation status that you prefer, you look into the system and you choose a school that fits into what you want.
Okay, but then for this 165,000 who are supposed to do the self-placement, how are they supposed to approach this process? Do you have any clear guideline process by which they could be asking for the self-placement?
Yeah, exactly. There is a clear guidelines. Definitely, if you listen to the Director General carefully in the press briefing, that was indicated as part of the process, where if you want a self-placement mechanism, you go through to be able to place yourself. And it's not stressful. It's not stressful in the sense that when you log onto the portal,
so they still have to make use of the portal.
Yeah, definitely.
Make use of that online process.
Definitely.
But just that it's as though you're going through the process again.
Yeah, you have to go through the process again.
Okay.
So with the self-placement, it comes with the region, your residential preference, the school is there, program of choice. Then once you go through this, then you click on submit, then it will go through. So as and when candidates do a self-placement for a particular school, when that particular school is full, then it goes off from the portal.
Okay. Now there's a warning also coming through from the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, talking about persons, some unscrupulous individuals who may be within your ranks and maybe trying to abuse the process by taking money for placement. How are you, first of all, sanitizing the system?
Yeah, as Director General rightly said, we've improved the internal mechanism, and the security-wise of the system now is robust. There is a third party that does the auditing and look at the integrity of the whole process to ascertain if indeed it meets the best of time and what we seek for. And as part of the protocols, we are able to strengthen the base. So that is a firm assurance. And again, if you've studied this year's interaction right from the verification process before the results were released and even on to today when the eventual automatic placement came, we've been educating the public as to what you need to do and what you don't have to do. So for example, now we've been preaching and telling people through your medium that we should make use of the regional resolution centers. Definitely when people see where people are crowded, especially when people are in need of a particular item, that is where people want to take advantage of it and want to do whatever they want. And this time we are cautioning the public, anybody who approaches you to take any or demand for anything, what you have to do is you need to report that individual to the law enforcement agency for the law to take its course. But again, if you can't approach any security officer, the officials of the Ghana Education Service are there for you to report to. And as the Director General said, the individual who is paying and the one who is receiving are all causing the same criminal offense. So therefore, we need to be mindful. Our people within the regional outfit are well trained and ready to receive any individual who comes to them for any assistance. And let me repeat this and emphasize on it. There is nothing like a payment or any sort to any individual when you are seeking for any answers to a question that you may pose out. We need to take that caution very seriously. And yes, we've had an internal mechanism which has been strengthened, but the cooperation of parents and candidates are very important.
But you see, the point is some of the parents may not be aware of the processes as you're explaining, or as you may be aware. Well, you're working at the ministry, so you know a lot more about the process. But there are parents out there who may not be aware of the process. So anyone offering help, they jump onto that. How are you decentralizing the help? Maybe if you're going to set up units at your various outfits, how do you intend to do that so that at least information is closer and closer to the parents and that they can easily get access to, whoever it is that will solve their problem?
Yeah, as I indicated, every region has got a regional resolution center. Okay. Every region has got a regional resolution center. And at these resolution centers, what is important that you need to do is just to approach the officers there. Put out your grievance or whatever answer that you seek for.
All regions?
Every region.
Okay, right.
So every regional education office do have these officials who are waiting, arms open, waiting for any individual who will approach them for anything that you want us to address for you. And this year, those who will want to come at the national resolution center, that is the NAT Hall.
Oh, you're still using that again this year?
But it's
right. I thought because you're going to be using the regional centers.
Hold
on the national one.
We do have the regional outfit, but again, it's important we also have that national outfit one. That collate what comes from the regional outfit as a bulk item and look at it individually based on how they come in. But when you visit the officials from our outfit are well identified.
Okay.
So they are well identified. Yes, they are well identified. Yours is to approach those who are well identified, put out your grievances to them so that you wouldn't have any third party or anybody coming from outside to take you through a certain
process. You know how those Goro people behave. They sometimes come closer asking, well, madam, can I help you and all of that. Are you clearing them entirely off the center, or you are allowing them to lurk around and
we wouldn't know who is a Goro boy.
Right.
Because we don't have any Goro boy at the Ministry of Education or the Ghana Education Service or the Ghana TVET Service. There is nobody with that description.
But they will develop, you know that.
Definitely. That is why it is important that when you suspect any individual, yours is to approach our officials and inform them that this person I suspect is not one of you. Right. So what do we do? Quickly, and let me tell out those Goro boys that you are referring to. So we do have undercover security officers as part of the whole process.
Oh. Okay.
Yes. So feel free. I want the public to feel free. Both at the regional outfit and the national outfit. Feel free. Just approach them when you suspect an individual who is not part of the formal system. Just report the person and the security people will take it.
Wow. So you are deploying undercover security?
Oh, definitely, it's important.
So there'll be, I don't intend to put your strategy out there. I'm not sure they would be able to identify those security persons.
Yes, you wouldn't be able to identify.
So when you deploy these undercover security people, they move around to check what exactly?
Yeah, what we need to understand is they are part of the system. So you wouldn't know. If I'm an undercover agent, you wouldn't know. Right. So they are part of it to help maintain the status that we want, and their presence, apart from men in uniform, their presence gives a certain bite and the seriousness of the whole process that we are looking for. And it's important that we do notice that when some of these security officers are around, people are well saved and secured to be able to engage with officialdom and even have that courage to report any individual who is not wanted within that space. So we are vigilant and we want to help maintain the integrity of the system. So that is why the internal mechanism is important. The security agencies are involved in all this process. And again, the emphasis is on the people who are the receiving end.
Okay.
I.e. the parents plus the candidates themselves. So we all need to cooperate. You've given us the platform to be able to educate the public on what they need to do and what they shouldn't do. For example, with a self-placement, you don't leave it out to the cafe attendant to be doing it for you.
Right.
As a parent, just spend 5 or 10 minutes with your child. Go to the cafe attendant. Look through what is available. Look through the program that is available, the accommodation status. Make your own choice. rather than leaving it out to them. If you leave it out to them, they will do the choice and you come back later complaining that I didn't select this is not what I want, so you need to change this for me, etc. We don't want that to happen. So that is why we are bringing the communication to the doorstep of the parents. And we expect that they do cooperate with us so that we can have a smooth system.
Okay, I'm interested in exploring this, but how about the headmasters, those in charge of the senior high schools? There's this tendency by the heads to refuse admission. I don't know if that's the terminology for it, but sometimes you're placed and you're told, well, the facility, we don't have space here, so you'd have to do a self-placement or another type of posting. How are you dealing with that this year?
That hasn't come to our attention yet. And a student who is rightly placed in a school, no school authority will drive that individual away. Now, there is a check mechanism. The person placed, printing out the placement form to the school do have the opportunity to see from the portal, indeed, if this individual has been placed in my school.
Okay.
It appears for the school authorities to see. So the school authorities know the people, the number of students who are coming to them, the candidate index number, the name plus the program and the accommodation status. So once you walk in there, you present that document to them, the school authorities then look through their master list and they will find your name in there. So nobody will drive anybody away.
But I'm asking the question because of the allowance for protocols. How are you going about that? I mean, just opposing that to what you've just said.
The aspect of the protocol, and I believe you all know how the system pertains, the school do have the opportunity to do their own protocol.
Right.
So therefore, the school knows its number. So whilst they
there's a quota for them.
Yeah, definitely, based on the declared vacancies to the Ghana Education Service. So that is the number that will have to be looked at, where you take all our stakeholders' interest as part of the whole process. So they do know, and they know what to do.
Oh, okay, so the headmaster or the head of the institution must give an accurate number.
Yeah, definitely, they do report.
Of what the vacancy
they do report, and we have no doubt in our minds that they will be reporting wrong figures. They do report. Every year we do take vacancies in there, and even not they alone declaring, but staff from our outfit also go there to do inspection, to do a head count of number of students in there, accommodation, the classroom accommodation that they do have, number of accommodation facilities for boarding. The schools will do their part. The Ghana Education Service outfit will also do their part. Staff from the Ministry of Education also go there to also verify and validate all these figures. So therefore, there is that checks and balances, and there cannot be an over-declaration so that you can get more numbers. You know, that is not what pertains within the education space.
And just before this placement was released, we know that there was an investigative piece that was put out there. Has the ministry learnt its lessons, and how are you improving from there?
Yes, the public, it's ongoing debate within the public space about the perception or the seeming rumor as to somebody taking money, whatever. But it's important that when we hear some of these perceptions and discussion, we pick pieces and what people are suggesting and what people are writing to us. We put all of them on the table. Every year you see an improvement in the system. And that is, we cannot have a perfect system. But again, we need to work hard to get to perfection. That is basically what we are doing. So every year there is a new element which is introduced. And significantly, this year also is not an exception. We do have an improvement in our system. As the Director General rightly said, a third party looking at and assessing the integrity of the whole system before the release of the automatic placement. As I indicated to you, we are not alone. The security forces are with us. The security agencies are with us to ensure that we do have a functional system. And that is what is important. So that this should give breathing space to parents. But again, parents, we still are telling parents and candidates to be mindful of people who do not come from our quarters and will be coming to them, telling them that I can promise you or do this for you, where that cannot happen. So they should be mindful of that and cooperate with us so that we can have a smooth and a functional and effective system.
Okay, let's wrap up on the academic calendar itself that you're running for this academic year. There are some changes from the basic right to the senior high school, just to readjust and to move away from the pre-COVID era, which obviously disrupted the normal academic calendar. What's going to change now? Are we going to see a double track or a mainstream? How are you dealing with the problem so we get to the normal level?
We've moved from double tracking system to now a transitional calendar. And you know, when the double track started, you have 1 year group, that's the first year, with 2 different batches. Whilst one is in school, the other is also in the house. Now we do have 1 cohort in school at a particular time. So we've moved from the double tracking system to now a transitional calendar. And all these are preparations that we are doing towards the ability to achieve and take that from there and revert back to our normal calendar. We never wait for COVID, and it becomes a necessary evil. It came, therefore, authorities needed to sit and strategize effectively to be able to
what
deal
you're
with
doing is that, are you overrunning the system to catch up, or you're shortening the process so that everything will start afresh?
No, we can't shorten the system. We can't overrun the system as well. There are a number of specific contact hours that students are required to have face-to-face or interaction with their teachers. And we are mindful of all these contact hours. And it's something that the Minister of Education, Dr. Osio-Aduchun, wouldn't want to breach, not even one. So therefore, we can't cheat the system or in whether up or down. No, that is not the case. You know, previously we were going, if you calculate well, you have 6 months of school period and 6 months where we come home. Now we have all year running for the school. But what is important is that even if you divide it into 2, nobody should be shortchanged in terms of the contact hours which are needed for effective teaching and learning. So we are not doing any or designing the calendar to shortchange the system. But again, we need to work very hard to get to the normal system that we are all seeking for. And therefore, we require sacrifices. And we know the workload on our teachers. We know the workload on the schools. So that is why you see this new calendar in the system. So it's part of mechanism to ensure that we are able to achieve the normal calendar that we seek for.
Okay, then. We need to go. Any message for our parents out there?
Yeah, what I want to tell parents is that the placement is out. Automatic placement is out. Wherever your ward or child was placed, please straight away do as the honors by printing out, move straight to the school, and academic work starts. So from now up to 27th, school is in process. It's in progress.
Oh, so it's just starting.
Yes. On the 20th, straight away you go to the school to enroll. Officials are there ready to receive you. Immediately you go in there, present your credentials to them. They will take you through the process and tell you what you need to do again. And we must still emphasize, free SHS is still ongoing.
I was just about asking.
Nobody is you don't pay anything to access secondary education in this country. So we expect that nobody should come and tell us that I didn't have this money for this payment. That is why I was unable to access school. There is nothing like payment of anything in any school in Ghana.
Free is free.
Free is free.
Okay.
Go in there, receive education, and become the better person that we seek for the progress of Mother Ghana.
Okay, so it's free. We're taking that from you.
But you know it's free.
We're taking that from you. Thank you, Nanaya, for joining us. You're still with us here on The Pulse. When we get back, we'll take you to Parliament. Please stay with us.